Travel back in time with a trip inside the Iowa's News Now vault.
It's an obsession to be good at it.
I've seen 2- and 3-year-olds start playing games.
Oh, can't live without it.
Nintendo. It began working its way into the lives of people around the country just 3 years ago. Today, some say they can't live without it. Yet there are parents who've had enough. They can't live with it. Mary Nasso is a Cedar Rapids middle school teacher. She has concerns about the game and kids.
They spend time at night with it. And then I had one girl tell me she would get up at like 5:30 in the morning to play her Nintendo before she went to school.
Right now, there are at least 6 new Nintendo games like this one coming out every week. There's almost a game for every interest.
I mean, you can have any type of game. I don't care if you're they came out with Wall Street Kids. So if you're a nut about stock markets, you've got a game for it. If you're a nut about going to Vegas, they got a game for it.
But at $20 to $50 a piece, the games aren't cheap. Some say they purchase one and
2 months later you'll win the game and throw the game away because you're like, yeah, I won, that's it.
There's kind of a braggadociousness that goes with it, like, well, it cost my mother $40, and I think, oh my gosh, $40. That's a lot of money for one game. And then the other thing is, the kids have told me that they've also been disappointed when they've bought a particular game and they're bored with it then, like after 2 nights.
Did I get shot? Yeah. Whoops. If you know little to nothing about the game like me and are willing to invest even more money, well, there are now Nintendo books and magazines. For $10, you can learn strategies at winning. That's exactly what a lot of people are doing. Of the 90 million households in the United States, 19 million now own Nintendo machines.
I think it's a fad. I truly do. But it's a fad that, unfortunately, I think turns some kids into couch potatoes, too. I mean, they go home and they stay home and they don't interact.
Why are some kids so obsessed with Nintendo? What makes them good? And why do a lot of people think the game is good for them? I'll talk about that in my next report. Sandy Reescraft, Channel 2 News, Cedar Rapids. A lot of things capture the attention of a child, but almost never has anything done it like this. Many kids have, over the past 3 years, become one with their Nintendo.
But when we first got it, I had to take the transformer that you plug in the wall to work with me in my purse because at that time, there was no controlling it.
It's just something to do. Like, instead of going around and saying, Mom, I'm bored, you can just play video games.
Yeah?
Get away from your brother and stuff.
Kids want to come in and play games, and it's a good babysitter. It keeps them all out of trouble, keeps them off the street, and I think if parents control how long they play it, it does help them. It's a challenge. It gets them... It's a learning experience.
9-year-old Nick and 14-year-old Zach Hayes own 16 Nintendo games. They spend up to $50 for new games, money that comes out of their own pockets.
In a way, it teaches them the value of money. I don't worry about the violence in these any more than I worry about the violence in a Tom and Jerry cartoon. They know it's make-believe. They know it's not real. They haven't, wanted to go out and buy nunchucks to go out and beat up people just because they have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Nintendo games.
10-year-old David Shuley gets up every morning at 6 to play Nintendo. Even 4-year-old sister Christy plays. But Dad thinks that's okay.
It at least keeps your mind active. The hand-eye coordination, it helps you, your thinking process speed up. Quicken your thinking process, reaction time.
But some people say there is too much violence in Nintendo games, that the games keep kids from interacting with one another.
I don't see them being intellectually stimulating at all. And the thing that worries me is that I think a lot of these kids forego their homework in order to play the Nintendo game. And then, that isn't good because they come to school unprepared. Also, I see kids coming to school tired many times, and I'd ask them, gee, you look tired, what's the reason? Have a hard time sleeping or something? No, just stayed up playing my Nintendo game.
When he wasn't on the basketball court at Iowa, this man, Les Jepson, played Nintendo until the wee hours of the morning. I'll tell you about his obsession with the game in my next report. Sandy Reescraft, Channel 2 News. Playing basketball for the Iowa Hawkeyes, Les Jepson lived in the fast lane with little time for anything else. But when he did want to slow down the pace a little bit, he did it with...
It's kind of like it's an addicting thing. You know, you might play it once and say, "Oh, this is, you know, what's so fun about this?" Like a soap opera magazine. Pick it up and all of a sudden, "Oh, this is no good." But you play it for a while, you watch it, and all of a sudden, you're addicted and you don't know it, and you just play it and play it and play it, and you can't put it down. It teaches you not to quit. You know, every time you lose the game, you know, every time. You know, you might be you play a game and you might have like 100 people, you know, 100 men to play against, and each man will die and die and die. You know, you'll lose the game, you play again, play again, play again. About 2 months later, you'll win the game and throw the game away because you're like, yeah, I won, that's it.
Jepson says he's played the game so much, he's had bouts with Nintendo neck, like the time he purchased a new game and began playing it at 7 one evening.
You can't stop, finding. It was 2 o'clock in the morning. And I was sitting on the floor. I was laying on the floor with my stomach and my head up. I was playing a game. I couldn't get up after I finished the game. That was the last time I played the game. I finished it totally. And I had Nintendo. That was the first time I ever had that, and the last time, too. So.
Oh, you don't play on me.
Pat Riley is a senior at Iowa who says...
Can't live without it.
Because of the cost, Riley and his buddies often trade Nintendo games.
We do it just basically to relieve stress. You know, it's something that when you're done studying, you go home and do something mindless and fun with your buddies, and that's about it.
You think you could beat some 6 to 12-year-old kids?
No way. These kids are good.
If you're an adult and you play the game to win, you're going to lose. You play the game safe, you're going to lose. You play it, just go through it as fast as you can go, you can beat it.
It's not necessarily something that you build your life around or anything like that. We have a few better things to do than that, but not many.
Let's hope not, anyway. Has it made you more of a couch potato at times, or not?
I don't know if that's possible.
In my next report, the future for Nintendo. Is the game here to stay? Sandy Reescraft, Channel 2 News. 10-year-old David Chuley is up each morning at 6. He heads to the basement to play Nintendo before school. And
whenever I come home, I come right down here.
Even though the cost of new games is expected to go even higher than the $40 to $60 you might pay right now, David's dad says it's a good investment.
I guess I'd rather spend, $100 for the video game and keep him out of trouble as to not spend it and have him running around the city in trouble.
Gary Dorfeld sees a lot of kids renting Nintendo games, staying out of trouble. He runs That's Rentertainment video stores in town. He says right now more than 20% of his business is Nintendo game rentals, and it keeps growing.
Oh, I'm hooked myself.
What does it mean to be hooked on Nintendo?
It means that if there's some dead time, anytime, and you see that machine sitting in front of you, you sit down and pop in a cartridge.
Dorfeld says Nintendo prices will go up as the graphics improve. He has 3 children at home who play. He says it's healthy except when the kids play long enough to experience something called Nintendo neck.
I have to admit, if they sit there for 5 or 6 hours, which my son has done at a time or two, he does have a bad neck, or his back hurts, or he's got a headache.
Already there's a headset out that allows you the freedom of no hands play. And soon, the company says, you'll be able to do home banking and shopping through your Nintendo machine.
As a society, I think the games will get more complex, they'll get more sophisticated, probably more expensive. I think that video games of some kind are pretty much here to stay.
Yeah, you can move troops into vehicles.
Even though Mary Hayes' 2 sons play Nintendo quite a bit right now, she's not worried about their futures with the game because
once you get to a certain age, you've just got too much real life to deal with to play games all the time. And real life's more fun.
Sandy Reescraft, Channel 2 News.